Event management. So all of us think we have, all of us have actually managed some or the other event. We have organized, we have implemented one or the other event. Let it be a college event, or let it be a birthday party, or let it be a family get together. What is event management? We are planning something, we are going to organize it, and then we're going to execute it. Greetings, everyone. This is Nandini. I'm going to talk about event management. We are going to go into a little more depth and understand this on a higher scale, not on the low level scale that we all actually do it. Let's talk about the history of event management. The event management comes from a long time before, but the concept or the word event management originated around in the 20th century. And this became very, very popular in the, I think, before 15 to 20 years. That was because a lot of people started wanting professionals so that they can come up with new ideas, new events. We all know that we want to look better than the rest of the people around us. And that is what happened. Nowadays, coming up with a virtual meeting or might be a tech show is very normal. But 15, 20 years back, it was a very new concept. This is where event management companies started blooming. They came up with new ideas and they started giving companies a higher stand. And as the demand increased, so did the event management companies. The first ever event planner, according to a report, is Cleopatra. She would organize or host fancy over-the-top meetings for in the pursuit of lovers. She is known in history for everything that she has done for lovers. She would host beautiful events just for lovers. Now, let's get back to the main topic. What is event management? It basically has two main parts. One, dealing with people. Two, controlling things. Dealing with people, you have different people once you get into the stream. One, they can be the team that you deal with, or the guests, or the clients, or the vendors. You always need a team, right? You can do it alone, but then when you have a team, things get even better. You have more resources, more ideas, more brains that are actually working. Clients. Clients are the ones who bring you business. If they are not there, you don't have business. So they again play a major role. And then the guests. The guests are the ones who actually tell if you are a good company or a bad one. The guest is going to give you the feedback and they're going to give you further business. Imagine you're conducting an event right now and the guest likes it. Once they have an event in their house, they're going to contact you. So basically, whenever you're doing an event, you should also remember that there might be reference there. People are watching you. You might get further business from there. Next thing is controlling things. Imagine you are organizing a birthday party. From the candles, birthday cake, the food, inviting people, not only all of this, but also taking permission from the neighbors or the lighting, all of this comes under controlling things and it's all coming under you. This is basically what event management is. There are different types of event managements, one of which is corporate events, then personal and social events, political events, and entertainment events. Let's go in detail about each one of them. Corporate events, in that there are many different types, one of which is product launch. Big companies, generally when they come up with a new product, they conduct a product launch in which they might call in the direct customers or they might also call in dealers. This helps them to launch their product, publicize their product more so that they'll have more number of customers. Then team building. Team building events are also known as employee gathering events, where it's done for the employees. It's basically like where you meet every single employee in the office or in the corporate world. You get to meet people and you get to communicate with them. Shareholder meetings is where you have an event with shareholders. You tell them what is happening in the company Then you have board meetings, you have press conferences, you also have conventions and seminars happening. Then comes the entertainment event. Entertainment events are something that gives you happiness, something that is entertaining you, as it says by the word. It can be celebrity performances, it can be musical nights, it can be award functions, it can be beauty and personality pageants, it can be fashion show, it can be cultural programs. Then comes personal and social events. These are basically done by family members or friends for a gathering. It can be a wedding event, it can be birthday parties, it can be baby showers, it can be personal celebrations, it can be a prayer event. Prayer event is basically like a funeral. When someone passes away, they perform few rituals, and even for that, people do hire event management companies. Then political events, which basically involves the politicians. Here, there might be political conventions, political rallies, political meetings, and election campaigns. All of these do require a lot of executional work, a lot of idealizing it, and then you have to organize things because these happen on a large scale. Other events are basically the events that don't come under the 4 categories that we discussed. They can be government contracts, they can be food festivals, they can be religious sammelans, they can be theater show plays, online streaming, mega events, or also college events. There are many more that add into the list. All of these also, there are a lot of event management companies that particularly deal with one type of event planning and not all of them. Like for event, there's particularly one different there are different event planning companies, event management companies. And even for birthday parties, they don't have to ideally always deal with all the different types. Then comes how to plan an event. This, whatever I've come up with, is like a basic form, like an overview. Doesn't always have to be like that. This is like the basic flow chart of it, a structure. First, the first step would always be to find your niche. Like I just spoke, there are different types. You have to first always find which particular lead that you want, or which particular event you want to conduct. And then you have to find for leads, you have to find for people who actually want your service. Then the step 2 would be to make connections. You'll have to try to communicate with them, try to reach them, either by SMS or call them or send them messages, some or the other way, or by a reference. Reach them, tell them that this is the service we are doing, this is how we will be doing it. Make yourself visible to them. Third would be to understand the need of the customer. Event management companies thrive only when you are doing what the customer needs. You can't come up with your own ideas because the customer has to like it. And understanding the customer, here you also understand what are their ideas, what is their budget, how they want it to flow, what days they want it to happen. All of this comes under understanding the needs of the customer. Fourth would be provide the presentation. You take down whatever the customer needs, you take down the budget, and then you come up with a presentation. Show them that, okay, I've understood whatever you want. I will be doing it in so and so way. We will come up with an event like this. It will be for so many days or for so many hours. It will start like this. It will end like this. You're giving them an overview of how you are going to organize the event. Once that is done, you will have to next you'll have to create the event flow. Before that, you'll have to close the client, basically take the advance from them, finalize the things with them, take their advance and book the client. Then you have to create the event flow. Now, once you have taken the advance, it is a finalized deal, right? Then you'll have to actually sit down, jot down what are the points you want to do, when you want to do it, how much you should book the venue, book the artists, whomever you're going to hire, start booking them prior, because it doesn't work on first come, first serve. It is first come, first serve. And you can't just go on the day of the event and ask the vendors to help you. It doesn't work like that. So you have to book them prior. Then comes license and agreement. License and agreement is when you're doing big events. But when it comes to small events also, you'll have to take permissions. That is for small events. But when it comes to big events, it will be licensing and agreement so that you don't get into any issues later on. You first only make everything clear that, okay, these are my rules and conditions. These are my terms and conditions. I hope you agree to it. And then comes to the main part, that is executing the event. Whatever you've planned till now, whatever you've come up with till now, you have to actually execute it. The last step, once you're done with the event, everything is over, take the feedback. Feedback is very, very important because that is when you understand if you have done a good job or if something is lacking, how you can change it, how you can help, how you can make yourself better for the next time. And it also helps to get new references, to get new customers later on. An effective tip for event management, so far whatever I've researched, would be the why, what, and how method. The why, what, and how method are basically questions that you'll be asking yourself once a client comes to you. It's like why is basically you're searching for the purpose of the event. You would ask yourself, why do you have to do it? Why should you do this event and not some other event? And why are you doing it, not anyone else? The what would be the product, like what is the event and what are my target audience, what type of speakers I want there. You are going to search for the product. So the third one is the how. The how is the mission. You're going to think, how are you going to invite the people? How are you going to plan it financially? All of this is going to help you understand if you have to do that event or no. Or if you're doing it, how are you going to do it? It will help you to come up with an effective event. Now, obviously, any kind of business you come up with, the main goal is to earn profit. So listening to all of this, you would all think, how would we even generate revenue out of this? So these are different revenue streams that event management companies do get revenue from. They make money from. One is the core service, that is the event planning service. Here, basically, they charge fees for planning, organizing, and executing the event. Second one is the venue sourcing and booking. Most of the times what happens is the event management companies already has partnerships with the venues. So they get commission from there because they bought in customers. Then is the event production and logistics. This includes logistics like transportation, the setup and the tear down of the, the setup and all of that, event equipments. For this, companies charge extra to manage all these aspects. Even this comes under a form of revenue for them. Then the ticket sales and registration. In some events, it works on the basis of tickets and registrations. So they take money for tickets or for registration early on. This is also a form of revenue for them. Then sponsorship with brands. They see to it that they get sponsorships or they get partnership with brands that are relevant to the event. So when they get sponsorships and when they get partnerships and sponsorships, they also give them money. There is revenue there as well. Then consulting services. Consulting services, what happens is sometimes customers come to the event management companies to take advices. The customer wants to have an event in their house. They just need an advice on how to make it or how to make the event happen. For that, they do consultations, and for that also they do charge. Then comes the event marketing and promotion. Event marketing and promotion is basically where the managers or the event management companies, they promote the event happening, either through emails or through social media promotions. And for this, they do charge extra. And then is the post-event services. Post-event services is basically feedback collection, analytical reporting, and the follow-up activities that can also generate extra revenue, but also it helps to build long-term relationships with the clients. Long-term relationships with clients are very important in such a business because once you are done with the event, if you leave the client, you might lose the upcoming potential events. Might be that client is having an event coming up after a few more months. If you're still in touch, you might get that as well. That is also a business opportunity. So having connections with them is very important. So whatever we have understood till now, let's come up with an example. I think recently we have all seen a lot of talk about this particular event that has been occurred. That is Anant Ambani's pre-wedding event. So a little about that. I'll just talk about a few events that took place. Some major events that took place is they hosted a communal dinner for 51,000 people. This is not an easy task. It would have involved a lot of planning, a lot of organization, a lot of execution work. There were around 1,200 guests which were invited. And all these guests were given a 9-page document detailed about what is the dress code that they have to wear for each event. And then there was Rihanna's performance that was a full-length show after 8 years. And it also involved a cocktail party and different, it also featured live animals. All of these events that took place had a lot of planning happening and a lot of people involved, a lot of organization that took place. I think whatever I've explained till now was clear, something new that I've brought up to the table. And it's brought up a little more understanding on what is event management and what is the scope in it and how revenue can be generated through it. Thank you all for being here today and listening to me.